Well, she wasn't afraid to go first, so I'm the man in the middle. So I would like to help you this morning to understand a little something about purpose. And I want to do that this morning by engaging you in a little story. There's a story that is told that around 1957, in a small village in Thailand, they were instructed that they had to move the temple. And in the temple was this Buddha, this large statuesque Buddha appears as clay, a dark portion of clay. And so on that particular day when they arrived to begin to move the Buddha, they had secured it. And as they were moving it, they noticed that there was a crack. And as they proceeded down the road, the crack appeared to get larger. And what they decided to do was to stop the process and think about what they had to do. So what they wanted to do to make sure that the Buddha would not be impacted in any way by vandals throughout the night, they gave the assignment to one of the younger monks to guard this Buddha through the night. So as he arrived and was stationed there at the Buddha with his torch, and as the night grew on, he began to notice off the flickering of his torch that there was some flickering coming from this Buddha. So as he got around to the back of the Buddha, he decided to take his little chisel and chisel in the crevice where he was seeing this light apparently shining through. And so as he chipped a little, it got a little brighter. And ultimately, he got so consumed with chipping that he chipped the entire Buddha. And when he stood back, he realized that the Buddha was, in fact, made with pure gold. And so as the dawning of the day came and the bell rang in the village, it was his assignment also to open the temple doors. And when he opened the temple doors on this day, this bright light came shining out of the temple. And they were amazed because that which they thought was just a statue of Buddha formed in clay was actually a statue of Buddha formed in gold. And the story says that apparently hundreds of years prior to that, this little town in Thailand was scheduled to be attacked by the Burmese army. And so in order that they would not have this sacred relic stolen, they covered it in mud. And the years went on. And all the Burmese priests, not the Burmese priests, but the priests of this small village died off. And 200 years later, they forgot that this statue of Buddha was actually made of gold. For so many generations had passed, and all the generations had only seen the Buddha that was covered in mud. And they thought it was how it was originally formed. But on this day, because of the movement, the Buddha outward covering was cracked. So I want to share with you briefly the message. The message is that all of us, like the book of Corinthians tells us, 2 Corinthians 2:17, we now have this light shining in our hearts. But we ourselves are like fragile clay jars containing this great treasure. This makes it clear that our great power is from God, not from ourselves. So you can search the world over, high and low, deep and go without. But I want to encourage you to know this. Until you decide to come inside, to turn inside, you will never find your purpose. For there's a common purpose in all of us. Because we have a common makeup. We all have the breath of God breathed in us. We all have the Spirit of God in us. And that Spirit of God has a common purpose, although that Spirit is expressed in each of us in a different way. It is still that same light that shines. So no, you have no light. You're just a bulb. But there is a light that shines within. Will you allow it to be turned on? So as we move deeper into this day, I encourage you to know that the shining light of your purpose is only found if you look within. And then you will be able to express in another way that you've never expressed before. Thank you.
Awesome.